paying me some credit. But the Bills now have a 95% probability to win the AFCs. What were you saying no to? Just the script?
Why they get credit?
Because it was close.
I told you guys what was going to. Now, I thought it would be a blowout. I give them, they hung around.
Yeah.
They don't beat good teams.
Yeah, Jordan
they
Poyer,
just got beat by a good team.
Former great Bill, made one more great play for the Bills. Unfortunately, he plays for the Dolphins now and kind of gave him the game.
Here's Bills this season. Their rankings.
They're really
solid,
really good.
And it's the turnover differential. Josh did have one finally, or another one.
And it wasn't that one. Good. You know what? It started to sound like Chris
Collinsworth.
That one, not his fault.
All right, question for you, Brew. Bills basically locking up the AFC East, something or nothing.
Well, they're going to win the division, right? It's a bad division. The Jets even.
You're giving up on the Jets?
Well, no, I'm keeping hope alive that they can make the playoffs. They're not going to win the division, okay? But the Bills are not a threat to win the AFC. That's
how can you say they're not a threat to win the AFC?
Because Baltimore would rip them in the playoffs.
Wow.
Maybe if Cincinnati ever gets there, why should I believe they're going to beat the Chiefs? Like, they're not. I don't think the Bills are as good as they were a year ago. Now, Amari was out this week, so the offense was a little more pedestrian than with him. I'll give you that. But I just don't think I don't think they would. I think the Chiefs and the Ravens are on a level by themselves. And the Chiefs obviously would be one, but they're on a level by themselves that the Bills aren't on.
Yeah, so that's a whole nother conversation for me, like watching the Bills. This is something, because I didn't have them making the postseason, largely because I didn't know that they had enough talent to be in this position. And clearly, the talent that they needed is under center. And he has been lights out.
Awesome.
He's been terrific. So this is something I'm not going to downplay it. Josh has been absolutely terrific. He's elevating the guys around him that he has around him. And so this is why this team is 7-2 right now.
All right, so locking up the division this early.
Yeah.
So here's the deal.
Don't love it.
It can, if they beat Kansas City in 2 weeks, then every game they play the rest of the way is super important and the focus stays locked in, because then it's a real battle for the 1 seed. But if locking up the division this early and then losing to Kansas City in a couple weeks puts you in a weird psychological spot, which is we have 5 games of football left and nothing to play for. Like, if they lose to Kansas City, they'll be basically eliminated for the 1 seed conversation.
See,
they'll have. Go ahead.
They won't have the division.
The only thing I would push back on is no one in that locker room is going to think that way.
I'm sure you're right about that. I think there is a level of complacency that can set in to a degree, which is like, all right, we know our as far as playoff seeding, our floor and ceiling are basically here. If they beat the Chiefs, then they are really they can play for a lot. The other thing is this, and I have been a Bills guy this year. I've been correct on the Bills, I feel, thus far. I totally disagree with Brew. I think the Bills are, at the very least, on the same tier as Baltimore. But they made an egregious karmic mistake yesterday. And the last time they made it, it led to the worst moment for the Bills franchise in 30 years. And they didn't learn their lesson. So yesterday, right after the game, what did we see from the Buffalo Bills Twitter account?
I didn't see that.
So they should know better than this, because the last time in a key moment this showed up on the Buffalo Bills Twitter account was, we can show it to you, with 2 minutes left in the 13-second game.
Gianna, what's going on
when
with
they tried to mock me. That was pre-tattoo. This is post-tattoo.
Huh.
And so here is the sour to yesterday's sweet.
Okay.
The biggest weakness on the Buffalo Bills is their kicker. Their kicker that cost them a playoff game last year, or a chance to tie a playoff game last year, and their kicker had been shaky this year. He hit a 60-yarder yesterday to win the game, which basically locks up his job the rest of the way. Tyler Bass, plus the bad karma of all that. Bills fans, I've been with you all year. I'm marking it down right now. Yesterday, high water mark of your season. Wow. The 61-yarder and that Tyler Bass, ghost of Christmas past, who you should have moved on from the summer.
I'm surprised you didn't bring out the board.
Rear his head. The Buffalo Bills social media team, you know what, it probably should have been on the board, Drew. I didn't think about that.
It's always an odd mix. You say I have confusing takes. You who are just like Mr. Analytical and Mr. If you look at this.
I believe in the sports gods.
Also,
and the
just believe in just.
I believe in. I'm sorry, Brew is mocking my faith. Can you imagine?
My God.
Can you imagine?
On the other side of the ball, Miami. Tyreek goes for 4 catches for 80 yards, no touchdowns. So how many touchdowns does he have this year, Kevin? Well, I'm glad you asked. The answer is 1. He's had more social media posts about rejoining the Chiefs than he has receiving touchdowns. Now, he would be okay if Tua played the whole year, according to this graphic. So we'll go back to you, Nick. With the trade deadline approaching and Tyreek's, yeah, that's a good point, stats are Is this something or nothing?
Might be something.
It would be amazing.
I mean, it might be.
Could you really see him getting to the Chiefs by
I
tomorrow?
didn't say anything about the Chiefs. So this is about Tyreek Hill. I'm just saying it might be something.
Miami should, on the other side, Miami should talk about teams that are ready to just pack it up. I believe in the Cowboys, but I think if Miami was like, you know what, let's pack this.
You think Miami should pack it up more than the Cowboys?
That's what I'm saying.
The rest of the
Okay, well that's.
he and Tua are great together.
Listen, these are back-to-back devastating losses for the Dolphins. They had 10-point lead on Arizona. They blew it yesterday. I think they were in position to beat the Bills. That Poyer penalty killed them.
huge.
They were going to get the ball back with a chance to win the game in regulation. The smart thing to do would be to trade Tyreek Hill. I don't think they're going to, but I don't know. I know where he has eyes too.
We all.
I just know that.
Greg.
I know that, and I know they're going to be
Guy's
on
got one
national
touchdown.
television tonight. You think he'll tweet about the game?
Oh.
You think he'll?
He might be at the game.
Send any
He might go to the game and stand on the sidelines.
If he showed up at Arrowhead today,
He's got his jersey on.
I
just
wouldn't
a
put
fan.
that past him.
It's something. It's something for another reason for me too, because I think with Tyreek, there's a lot of this feeling of we're not in it, and so I don't know how much. And I hate to attack somebody's effort, but I don't know that he truly cares right now because they're not competitive. Whereas if he does happen to end up somewhere else, where he's playing meaningful football, we would see a resurgence of what we saw last year and previous years, obviously. And that's my opinion. So I think it is something. Tyreek, maybe
I don't know. Who
get
knows?
your thumbs back moving.
Okay.
I think it's something. I don't put this on Tyreek. Look, no receiver on the team, Waddle, has more than 1 touchdown. They only have 6 passing touchdowns the whole season. But it's something in that I don't think he'll get traded by tomorrow. But in the offseason, he could start squawking more. And that's why I see it being something. Maybe he's in the New Year.
What's wrong with Mike McDaniel?
He's, by the way, Mike McDaniel's agent, great job getting that extension locked in before the year. Oh, man. Tua's agent, Mike McDaniel's agent, all those guys getting the extensions locked in before this year.
Dak.
They buy a lot of gold-rimmed glasses.
Dak's agent.
Exactly.
Something or nothing. Jared Goff literally playing quarterback better than anyone who has ever picked up a football for 6 games. Completion percentage and passer rating, the best ever. Brew, we'll start with you. Something or nothing?
It's something. He's been terrific. Even when he hadn't been pressured a lot, but when he has, he's still been great through the pressure. And I'm really happy for Jared Goff because I felt it was unfair. And I get it if Stafford was better than him. But I thought he got blamed for a lot with the Rams, and they kind of discarded him, and then you heard a lot of comments like he was the one holding them back. He wasn't that good. He couldn't make certain throws, this and that. And I look, that dude, they had one of the best offenses we had seen in a long time with him at quarterback. They got to the Super Bowl. It took Belichick to shut him down in the Super Bowl. Like, he was great with the Rams. So I'm glad to see him playing well in Detroit, and I think getting some of the credit he's deserved.
Yeah, this is definitely something. And then you watch the way he performed yesterday in the weather, in inclement weather, raining, windy, all the things, with his gloves on, putting the ball right where his receivers could make sure catches. Like, I thought he's just been playing in a different mindset and mind frame from a confidence standpoint, from understanding the belief that they, as an organization and as a head coach and as a play caller and Ben Johnson has in him, it just has him playing lights out, and he's been making great decisions.
So, listen, the best 6-game stretch in NFL history is nothing because it's not true. I mean, it is statistically true, but it's not. Like that. No, there's nobody, including anyone on this set, that thinks the best month and a half of quarterbacking that anyone's ever seen is what Jared Goff just did. He does have, it is the most efficient from a completion percentage standpoint and passer rating. But
13 touchdowns, 1 interception.
No, right, but that a lot of guys have done that over 6 games.
Pretty good, though.
The touchdown interception, right. And so again, he's played really well, and the Lions look like a juggernaut right now, and they have really not missed a beat with Aiden Hutchinson, without Aiden Hutchinson, pardon me. But